The frost-covered plains of Velkar 7 stretched endlessly beneath twin moons. A desolate world where survival meant tooth and claw. Sarah crouched behind an outcropping of obsidian rock, her breath forming crystalline clouds in the sub-zero air. The thermal scanner on her wrist blinked red 12 heat signatures. Moving in formation, direwolves. The apex predators of this frozen hell. She shouldn't be here. The colony had explicit protocols. Avoid the packs. Stay within the perimeter, never venture beyond the shield generators after dark. But Torin had gone missing 3 hours ago, and Sierra wasn't leaving without him. The pack emerged from the glacial valley below. Massive creatures with silver-blue fur that shimmered like liquid metal under the moonlight. Each stood nearly 2 meters at the shoulder, their eyes glowing amber with bioluminescent intensity. They moved with terrifying grace, a coordinated hunting unit that had evolved over millennia to dominate this world. Then Sierra heard a sound that made her blood run cold. Not the growl of a predator, but the whimper of something small and hurt. She adjusted her position, peering through the scope of her field scanner. There, limping at the edge of the pack, was a cub. No larger than a terrestrial wolf pup, it struggled to keep pace, its right forepaw held awkwardly off the ground. Blood dark purple against the white snow marked its trail. The pack slowed, circling the cub with what appeared to be concern. The alpha, a massive female with scars crisscrossing her muzzle, approached and sniffed the injured limb. The cub yelped, pulling away. The alpha made a low rumbling sound, somewhere between a growl and a whine. Sarah watched, fascinated despite herself. Xenobiologists had documented direwolf intelligence, but seeing it firsthand was different. The pack was clearly trying to help, but they lacked the anatomy or knowledge to treat the wound. This is insane, Sarah thought, even as she began descending the rock face. This is absolutely insane. Every survival instinct screamed at her to retreat. Direwolves had killed 6 colonists in the past year. They were territorial, aggressive, and impossibly strong. But that cub was suffering, and Sarah had spent 4 years in xenomedical training before joining the colony. Some instincts ran deeper than fear. She activated her suit's external speakers, setting them to emit a low-frequency hum non-threatening submissive. The pack's heads snapped toward her in unison, 12 pairs of amber eyes locking onto her position. "Easy," Sarah whispered, though they couldn't understand her words. "I'm not here to hurt anyone." The alpha stepped forward, positioning herself between Sarah and the cub. A warning growl reverberated through the air, so deep Sarah felt it in her chest. The other wolves flanked their leader, forming a living wall of fur and fang. Sarah slowly raised her hands, palms out. With deliberate movements, she unsealed her medical kit, letting it drop to the snow. Then she knelt, making herself smaller, less threatening. She pointed to the cub, then to the kit, then mimed wrapping her own wrist. The alpha tilted her head, regarding Sarah with unsettling intelligence. Several tense seconds passed. Sarah could hear her own heartbeat, could smell the musk of the predators, could see the flex of their powerful muscles beneath their fur. Then the alpha did something extraordinary. She stepped aside. The pack parted like a curtain, creating a narrow path to the injured cub. Sarah moved forward on her knees, slow and steady, keeping her eyes averted in a gesture of submission. The cub watched her approach with wide, fearful eyes, but didn't flee. Up close, the wound was worse than she'd thought. A deep laceration ran across the paw pad, likely from a sharp rock or ice shard, infected, judging by the discoloration. Without treatment, the cub would lose the limb, maybe its life. "Okay, little one," Sarah murmured, opening the medical kit. "This might sting." She worked quickly, cleaning the wound with antiseptic while the cub whined and squirmed. The pack watched in absolute silence. Sarah could feel their eyes on her, could sense the coiled tension in their bodies. One wrong move, one sign of aggression, and she'd be dead before she could scream. She applied synthetic tissue bonding gel, then wrapped the paw in thermal bandaging that would protect it from the cold while promoting healing. The cub sniffed the strange material, then tentatively licked Sarah's gloved hand. Sarah sat back, letting out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. There, good as new in a few days. The alpha approached, moving with slow deliberation. Sarah froze, every muscle locked. The massive wolf lowered her head, bringing her scarred muzzle inches from Sarah's face. Hot breath washed over her faceplate. For a moment that stretched into eternity, they remained like that predator and human, ancient enemies on a frozen world. Then the Alpha did something that would haunt Sarah's dreams and fill her reports with words that sounded impossible. She bowed. Not a predatory crouch, not a preparation to strike. A bow, head lowered, neck exposed, the ultimate gesture of submission and respect in wolf hierarchy. One by one, the entire pack followed suit. 12 direwolves, the most feared creatures on Velkar 7, bowing their heads to a human who had shown mercy to one of their own. Sierra's vision blurred with tears. She bowed back, touching her forehead to the snow. When she looked up, the pack was gathering around the cub, gently nudging it to its feet. The little one tested the bandaged paw, finding it secure. The Alpha met Sierra's eyes one last time, and in that gaze, Sierra saw recognition, understanding, something that transcended species and language. The pack departed, disappearing into the glacial valleys, the cub limping but alive among them. Sarah remained kneeling in the snow, watching until the last silver-blue tail vanished from sight. Her communicator crackled Torin's voice, asking for her position. He'd been found safe, sheltering in a cave system. On my way, she replied, her voice hoarse. As she gathered her equipment and began the trek back to the colony, Sarah understood something profound. Humanity's strength wasn't in its weapons or technology. It was in the capacity for compassion, even toward those who might destroy them. In the willingness to kneel in the snow before apex predators and offer help to the helpless. The galaxy was vast and filled with dangers. But perhaps, just perhaps, kindness was the greatest weapon of all.